Hey, Crazy Will here today. Today we'll be talking about the new Oculus Quest. If you were ever thinking about getting into virtual reality, you may want to stay tuned. Hey, Crazy Will here from Crazy Will's Tech Show. Today, we're going to talk about the new Oculus Quest VR headset. First of all, guys, I went out and bought this with my own money. This is my own opinion. This was not given to me, did not get paid or sponsored. Just absolutely thought this was a must-have. And I'll tell you why. It's a completely wireless experience. There's no need for a computer, no need for sensors all the way around the room. This has everything built in. The only thing you need to set it up is a smartphone and Wi-Fi. That's it. You download a quick app, you make a username and password, you add a credit card, and that's it. Now this bad boy retails for about $400. This is the 64 gig one. If you want the 128 gig, you're gonna be shelling out around $500. Now, why I'm so excited about it, you might think, oh my God, Will, that's kind of a high price point. You would think so. I wanted to get into the Oculus Rift about a year ago, but I'm a Mac guy. That wasn't gonna work. I would have to get a gaming PC, and then I had to shell out $500 just for the headset. That is tethered to a computer and also has sensors all around. So you're looking anywhere from about $1,500 to $2,000 to get into virtual reality. And at the time, they didn't have that many games. Now this system has a built-in computer with a Snapdragon processor, and the sensors aren't all four corners, and that's all you need. It scans the whole room, and you don't have to worry about putting sensors everywhere, and it's completely wireless with a battery that lasts anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, and it takes about 2 hours to charge. So let's talk about what you get in the box, shall we? Get the VR headset with a built-in computer, headphones built into the side straps, which are actually surprisingly really good. You get 2 controllers, which take a AA battery each, and that comes in the package, which is really neat. This is just magnetic. You just pretty stuck on there, and then you just slip. You get a 10-foot USB Type-C cable with a plug adapter, USB Type-C plug adapter. You get the glasses extender so you can put it over your nice shades, and you get the user manual, which, let's face it, who really reads those? So let's talk about the controls real quick, guys, because this was something that I was thinking about when I was watching a lot of reviews and reading about a lot of reviews, and not a lot of people talked about. First of all, to grip the controller in VR, you're gonna hit this button to grip, and you hit this button, and a lot of the games you actually have to grip like that. Your thumb, actually, there's a sensor, I guess, somewhere on this controller. I didn't really research it, but I did notice when I put my thumb down on the base here, it would close my fist. That was pretty cool. They vibrate. Cool things like playing Star Wars with a lightsaber, you actually feel the vibration when you're moving and everything. One of the games I've been playing is Vader Immortal, which is a Star Wars game, and you have a lightsaber, and you actually, when you slice things, you feel the vibration, and I thought it was really cool and really great for the experience. Also, another game that I demoed, which was Beat Sabers. It's awesome. You actually put them together and you feel like they're vibrating, and it feels like you're actually holding lightsabers. It does have buttons, as you can see. There's a thumbstick and an A and B button, and then there's the Oculus button, that's to get out of a game. And then these are actually sensors on top, which they're really durable. I gotta say, I almost smashed them through my TV, almost knocked it into my ceiling here because it's a little curved, and I just punched that shelf earlier because I was playing super hot VR, which we'll get into the games. Now, there is one bad thing about the controller. There is a blind spot, so if you go back too far, the camera has to see them. There's 4 cameras on the headset. One here, here, and here. And here, okay? If you bring this too far past where it can't see it, it does lose the controller. I don't really see it. It's only happened a couple times. It's nothing really that horrible. Like when you put your hands by your side, sometimes it'll lose traction. But if you're playing a game, you usually have your hands out in front, so it's not really a huge issue, but it is a little annoying. Another really cool thing is when you're setting this up and you did something like I did, where you accidentally put the headset on before you grab your controllers, you can actually see the controllers in virtual space. So if they're sitting like on a table and you put the headset on first, you'll actually be able to see your controllers in 3D space. I mean, they'll be floating in the middle of nowhere because that's what it's going to do, and it also tells you which one is right and left. which I did not see that in a lot of reviews, and I just wanted to share that with you. Let's talk about the headset, guys. I was not going to jump onto this. I thought VR was still way out there. I knew we had a chance to get this, but until I saw this headset in action, and even when I went to go buy it, I didn't think it would be this good. Like I said, it has the 4 cameras in each corner, and it tracks the whole room, okay? So it's tracking everything in the room. It knows the room, and it makes, they call it the Guardian barrier, and it goes around you, and it automatically knows. To set it, all you do is you place the controller on the floor, and then you draw an outline of what you don't want to hit into. And this tells you when you start going too far, hey, you're about to bump into something. It actually shows like a 3D dimensional wall, and I'll show an example of it right now. And it tells you that you're going too far. And if you go too far past it, it actually activates the cameras and you see the room. It's a black and white view, but you actually get to see your room, so that way you can be like, oh, no, I'm getting too close to the TV. And even if your hands go through it, it warns you. So me hitting things was mainly my fault. I wasn't paying attention to the barrier. And that's what makes this so unique, is the wireless tracking cameras on it. That's what really brings this to the next level, I feel. You know, I'm not a huge VR guy. This is my first headset, and this is just my opinion, and I think this is what's going to make it mainstream, is the fact that you don't need a computer and all the sensors are built into it. Also, built-in speakers. I don't know if I can try and get you to see this, but there's a little slit right there, and that's the speaker. And believe it or not, I didn't find it bad at all. I love the speakers. It actually filtered into my ears perfectly. I was a little shocked that they didn't have an earpiece that went over it, and I really get immersed into these games and really lose myself. Now, there is ports if you want to add your own headset. I mean, it's got a right and a left, so you might have to get an adapter for that, but you could use a headset, but I don't see the need for it. Personally, for me, I liked it. Now, as far as the weight, I didn't find this to be too heavy, considering you have a computer and a bunch of cameras strapped to your head. I didn't find it to be that uncomfortable. I mean, me personally, I only like playing for an hour at a time, and then I just need to rest. It is pretty comfortable with glasses. Believe it or not, I didn't need the spacer that's actually built into this, and you just pop this off. This actually just comes out like so, and then there's the spacer. Let me show you this. So that's the spacer right there. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to take out. I do wear glasses, not these. And you just place it right in there, and that's just a little bit of a spacer. But I really didn't need the spacer for my glasses. I just put it in there because it came with it, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try it out. And it did make the experience a little bit better. And then this just goes right in there. You can see. Boom. Get the strap out of the way. Pushes right in. Really not that hard to take out. The spacer was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but this isn't that bad to take out. Now, the only complaint that I have about the headset is there is bleeding by the nose, which actually lets light through, and that is a little frustrating, but for me, sometimes that was nice to look down and be able to see kind of where I was, and it wasn't a deal breaker, and I'm sure you could get a piece to put there. I mean, you know, some people have big noses. I mean, do I? Alright, so underneath is your pupillary distance piece. You can move back and forth and get it focused in, and it sets you up with that in the beginning. And then you got your volume control up and down, and then you got your on-off button. Now to turn this on, the on-off button, you just hold down on it for 2 seconds, and you should hear it. That's such a beautiful sound to me now. And to turn it off, you put it on, and you'd actually have to hold down the button for 2 seconds, and it'll pop up on the screen, do you want to power off, and you power it off. And if you just tap the button while you're playing, it actually just puts it in like a sleep mode. So if you're like, you know, gotta answer the phone, you could tap the button, take off your headset, and it's in a sleep mode, and then you can put it back on, tap the button, you go back to your game. No one really said anything about that, so I just thought I'd add it in for you guys. Alright, so let's talk about the experience, guys. That's really why someone like me would buy, because I'm not a huge gamer. I game a little bit, but I am not one to go out and buy system after system. I mean, to be honest with you, I still have an Xbox 360, and I just not gonna get the Xbox One because they're money pits. You know, you throw a lot of money. For this, it was worth it to me because of the experience. I am not one to just go out and buy something that just came out. I've been eyeballing VR headsets because of the experience that you get in them. I tried it at Best Buy, like I told you guys earlier, and it was an amazing experience. I was in a small cubicle area. I couldn't really move around, so I didn't get the full experience that I got with this one. The space that you can make. I actually did this outside, and I'll show you a video of my goofy ass in the middle of my driveway. Oh, my neighbors must wonder. And I made a huge, I think like 10 foot by 10 foot space. I was playing a game called Super Hot VR. In this, there's a whole bunch of these red guys that are coming out to you. Basically, it's like the Matrix, but you could walk through the scene and get to certain spots to knock out your opponent, or shoot him, or duck behind things. Fully immerse in a 10-foot area. Pretty cool. Now the setup is a little bit of a pain in the butt. You have to sign in with Facebook, which everybody has a Facebook nowadays, and you have to add a credit card and make a PIN. You know, basic setup stuff. So you gotta link the Wi-Fi. Now it starts you off with touching the floor to calibrate where the floor is, and then you draw a boundary box like I said earlier, and that's so you don't go hitting into your walls and stuff like that. Make sure you pay attention to the boundary box. Then you go into the basics module, which is a really cool module which will teach you how to use the VR hand grips and how to use things and throw things and punch things and move your hands and learn how to shoot with guns, and really cool interactive little thing. It even has a remote control blimp, which was pretty neat. Little rockets to launch off, all that cool stuff. Then after you get through all the basic stuff, then it starts you off with a gaming console that you could put cartridges in and have experiences. One of them was a shoot 'em up type of game, which was pretty cool, and another one was dancing with some type of robot, which was actually pretty fun and interesting. Then after all that's done, you exit out of that basic module and it brings you into this log cabin kind of capsule kind of room where it's nice, it's decked up, and it has the Oculus and the bookshelves, and it looks really cool. And you have a menu placed right in front of you with a whole bunch of different things, a navigation bar that you can go in there and you activate everything basically with the trigger button, and you point to it, and you could download games and go from there. Start your adventure. Now I really find myself losing myself in this VR headset. I will say it's a fully immersed experience. I really enjoy it. I was even playing Vader Immortal, and there was a part where I was actually climbing out on a ledge, and I almost kind of like fell because I was in the game and I'm hanging off the edge, and you really get like lost in these games, which is really, really cool. And that's also how I punched my ceiling when I was trying to get a droid with a lightsaber. Not a proud moment of mine. Brand new controller, smashing it into the ceiling. Now the battery. A lot of people keep saying stuff about the battery. I don't understand that because the battery is fine to me. I'm not going to be playing more than 2 hours or almost 3 hours. I need a break after a while. I don't know about you guys, and it takes like no time to charge. It takes about like 2 hours to charge. If you're like me, where you do play for an hour, plug it up, and then when you go back to it, it's fully charged, and then you go and play for another hour, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, it's completely wireless, so I don't know what people expect, but if you're that hard up for it, you can actually plug it into the wall. I mean, it comes with a 10-foot cord. You know, you could plug it up. It's not the most convenient thing, and you could continue playing your game or watching your movie or doing something like that. The games, that was a big question I had. Price range. And there are quite a few free games that you can play with. There's one with a pet that you can play with. There's another one that is another Oculus game that kind of like a basics. I guess that's their basics from when they first had it, which there's a little playable robot, which was really cool. But the game's price range, they range from anywhere from $10 to around $50. Certain games, for example, I got Vader Immortal, which was $10, and then I picked up Super Hot VR, which was $24.99, and well worth it if you're a Matrix lover. I had a lot of fun with that. It was bullet time, you know, you're dodging bullets. There's not many games out there yet. I mean, they say there's 50 on there. There's probably about 5 or 6 that I would like to get my hands on, which is fine. I mean, you get a lot of experiences with that. And another one that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm just waiting for my credit card to reset so I could purchase it, is Robot Recall. I'm really looking forward to getting that. But there was a lot of other free things, like there was a roller coaster game, which almost made me vomit. I guess I was a little weak in the stomach. I'm gonna try it again, but right now, my wife told me when I took the headset off I was white, and probably not a good idea. Too much motion for me. Me personally, I guess I'm getting old. I don't know. I'm looking forward to more of a Call of Duty type of game, and that's really what I would like to experience, where I get to cock back a gun and go after my friends. That doesn't sound psychotic at all. Alright, so let's go do some of the pros and cons, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this VR headset. Pros! The tracking is really good. You got the 4 cameras, it scans the room, it tracks your hands pretty good. The only thing was if you go back here, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem, which you don't have to do that in many games. It's completely wireless, guys. There is no tethering to a computer, sensors everywhere. You throw it on and you start playing. I mean, I've even brought it to work with me. I mean, it's awesome. Really cool. You could just pass it around to your friends. You don't have to worry about anything. It's completely and utterly wireless. everything you need is in one package, which is awesome for me. If you're new to VR like I am new. You know, I wanted to get into it a couple years back and it just wasn't there, and you needed a high-end computer, gaming computer. Very emerging and interactive. I love that I get so caught up into this other world that if you have a stressful life, which I think we all do, it is awesome to throw this headset on and be somewhere else. I cannot tell you how cool that is. It fit right over my glasses. I'll show you, hold on. I have big framed glasses like this. Fits right over perfectly. Put the headset on. I mean, there you go. And it has straps. I didn't mention that. You have a strap up here too. Make it nice and tight. And I don't have any problem with it. But I do put it on first and then slip it over. Cons. I keep seeing little glitches every once in a while in the screen. It's not a deal breaker. It's just every so often when there's a lot of action, you'll see a little bit of a blip here and there. A little annoying, but doesn't really bother me. The controller doors sometimes when I'm playing, and it doesn't happen often, but it happens enough that it can be annoying. You gotta know how to grip it, but if you're holding it a certain way, they'll slide off because they're just magnetic. So, you know, when you get really intense in a game and you're moving around and sometimes it slips a little bit, and that kind of goes with the headset too. Sometimes it feels like it's moving, which I can make it tighter. I just don't like it too tight where I'm like, you know, the nose piece, you can see quite a bit out when you're looking down, and there is light bleed. It's not a deal breaker. And so this ring is kind of annoying. Like, you know, I'll be playing and I forget that it's there, and I'll go to like itch my nose, you know, try to get under there, and the ring hits me. Or I'm battling like boxing and you punch yourself in the eye. You know, you're hitting the mask obviously, but it's, you know, can be annoying sometimes, which it's like I said, it's not deal breakers. They're just little nitpicks that everybody has, I guess. In the beginning, I did get a little nauseous afterwards. You know, if I play for long periods of time, like I said, I would highly recommend that you only play for like an hour or 45 minutes, because afterwards you take it off and you do feel a little disorientated and maybe a little kind of like seasick, and everything's kind of warped a little bit. And that's just my experience. You may not have that. It did kind of make me feel a little sick afterwards for about 10 minutes and I'd be fine. But I get motion sickness in the car, so that's just probably my issue. My overall thoughts, guys. Me personally, being an 80s kid, this is remarkable. I mean, you know, I used to talk about this when I was a kid with my friends that, hey, one day we'll throw headsets on and, you know, be able to enjoy ventures and stuff like that. And the day is here. I didn't have the money for this, but I did work some overtime, and beautiful, lovely wife said you should just buy it. You've been talking about it for years. And I'm sorry, it's well worth it for what you're getting. I mean, if you look at what you pay for smartphones today or computers, this is everything built in, and it's a 3D environment, and it takes you to other worlds. I mean, I can't explain it enough. You have to try it. And I really didn't want to miss out. I really feel like this is going to be a hot product, and today I just checked, Best Buy sold out, Amazon sold out, everybody sold out of this thing, and it was only released Friday. It's May 21st, and today is the 30th. I bought it, I think, 2 or 3 days after it was launched. I truly give it a 5 out of 5, guys. I love this thing, and like I said, this is a first impressions video. I've only had it probably about a week. By the time this launches, it'll be 2 weeks. I absolutely enjoy it. I think it's an experience that you just need to try. You'll look completely ridiculous to everybody else, but when you're in that headset, it looks and feels awesome. We're right on the cusp of something amazing. So that's it for me, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if this helped you, and remember, you could do anything if you put your mind to it. Later, guys! I have a feeling that this is going to be the Christmas hot gift this year. I think this is going to be one of them crazy parents gotta get gaming consoles, waiting online craziness. I can really see this being this year's gaming system that everybody has to have. I know what you're thinking. Crazy Will's Tech Show's over. What do I do now? Real simple, guys. You hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button, and then you check out my other videos. It's not over. I made a lot. It's been a good year.